For reports from the region affected by the snowstorm, we're joined from Boston by Howie Carr, syndicated radio talk show host, author, and a columnist with the Boston Herald, and from Long Island, New York. We welcome in our own Chris Villalba of Newsmax TV. Gentlemen, we thank you both for your time. To see you there. Howie, you're safe on the inside, looking out the window at a potentially historic storm. How much snow do you have now, and how deep do you think it's going to get?
I don't think it's going to be historic. They've backed off from that, JD. I think we have right now where I am, which is in Wellesley, Mass, just a little west of the city, about 15 inches. And we're maybe going to get 5 or 6 more. So it'll be 20 inches before it's all done. And they're going to get more in Boston, apparently, 24. But it's not historic. It's not the blizzard of 78. The TV weathermen here in Boston are getting a little testy, actually, JD. They're saying, well, you know, it's a bad storm here, and it may be a bust out in New York and Philadelphia, but it's bad here. And they're still yesterday they were saying 36 inches, 3 feet. Now they're saying, well, you know, when you include the drifting, it still might get to 3 feet.
Well, it's still, Howie, for a lot of us, we hear over 20 inches, and that's a lot of snow. But I understand Boston has had its share of blizzards in the past, and this will not, in your opinion, rank as one of the historic storms that that area has seen.
No, JD, the fact is, the governor said this morning at his 7 o'clock press conference that this could be the worst storm since 2013. That doesn't quite have the same ominous ring to it, does it? The worst storm in 2 years as opposed to the worst storm in recorded history. I think that's what de Blasio said 2 nights ago in New York City.
Well, speaking of Mayor de Blasio, let's go a little bit south of where you are, Howie, and bring in our friend Chris, who is at home, ostensibly having a little time off on vacation when we pressed him into service. Now, Chris, you're out on Long Island. How deep is the snow there where you are?
Well, here in western Long Island, we only got about a foot of snow, which is about 60% off of what was predicted. The residents here are very disappointed with the amount of snowfall, even more disappointed than they are with the New York Knicks. But as Howie was mentioning, the snowstorm of 2013 was a pretty bad one. And I was actually in that snowstorm. I got caught on the road and had to be rescued twice on my way to work that morning. And the travel ban that was actually instituted in New York and Long Island and all of basically southeastern New York State has done a lot to help with the cleanup, because when you don't have to rescue people, you're actually able to clean up the roads, and that's going to get people back to work a lot sooner than later.
So the travel ban, and correct me if I'm wrong, I understand Governor Cuomo has now rescinded that, but it gave the road crews time to get out and get things clear. What are you hearing from your neighbors? Did everybody sleep in this morning, or do a lot of your neighbors there on Long Island expect to get back to work later today, Chris?
Well, everybody here on Long Island is expected to basically take the day off. We're not done with the snowfall just yet. As far as western Long Island goes, where I am, we're expected to get about another 6 inches. But when you go out towards eastern Long Island, they're still expected to hit that 30 inches mark that was originally instituted out when you go out eastward to where the latitude is around, the longitude is the same as it is over in Boston. So for the most part, Long Island is going to be taking some breaks. And you're also going to see the Long Island Railroad not start up until around noon. So people are not going to be able to get into the city to get to work at that point.
Fair enough. Let's go back to Boston and Howie Carr. Howie, the snow is still falling, but when it quits, I guess we're hearing, and probably the weathermen on TV up there are warning about the attendant wind that is coming with this storm. So that
right. The winds have been very bad. They've been up to 50, 60 miles an hour, JD. They're having a problem. Most of the serious problem with damages is not inland where I am. I mean, we can deal with even 2 feet, 2.5 feet, but it's the flooding that's really a problem here. I mean, it's not like in 1978. I was talking to a weatherman last night. They had apparently the moon was in a position to maximize the tides. You don't have that in this storm.
Well, that's good to know.
Coastal.
Tell you what, Howie, we're going to bring you back not to talk about the wind, but some of the attendant political hot air that goes along with these storms as people try to use storms for partisan purposes. Chris Villalba in Long Island, you have our thanks. Looking good up there despite the snow. We're coming right back with more on America's Forum.